Hey guys, Akil here. Welcome back to another episode of the Trading Coach Podcast. If you guys are brand new, thank you for finding the show. I am a Forex trader. I am also a trading coach over at tier1trading.com. And this is a podcast I put out 3 times a week, talking about Forex, talking about trading, investment, real estate, life, motivation, inspiration, really anything that comes to my mind when I turn the microphone on. Now, you can check out this podcast on essentially any Android and Apple podcasting and music streaming app. So there are 0 excuses not to listen each and every day. And there are hundreds of episodes. So make sure you listen to at least 10 before passing judgment on the show. Now, recently I attended the Tier 1 Trading Royal Ball and had a fantastic time talking to a handful of traders. And what was cool about this event is traders typically feel like they're on an island, meaning that they feel like they're alone, they're by themselves, there's no one else experiencing the same problems that they are. And what we've done differently here at Tier 1 Trading this year, and it did get us recognized by Forbes magazine, which is pretty cool, is really create a community in which traders can connect, traders can interact with each other, and really help each other through the journey. So imagine your trading journey being this long, dark path through the jungle. When you're isolated by yourself, you're scared, you're worried, you're nervous, you second guess yourself. It's a little bit difficult. However, when you're traveling in a pack, right? Strength in numbers. You guys are able to help each other out. Obstacles are a little bit easier to clear, and you're a little bit more motivated each and every day, even when things aren't going your way. And what was cool about the ball was that this was the first time that as a group, we all got to meet in person and really hang out for about 6 hours. And well, internet communication is one thing, but good old-fashioned face-to-face, locking eyes, shaking hands, hugging each other, right? That type of interaction can't be beat. And I remember it was about halfway through the event. It's about a 6-hour event. So it was after dinner, right? While my kid was kicking it on the dance floor. Halfway through the event, I was outside talking to a handful of traders who have really kind of connected with each other in a group outside of Tier 1, which is great to hear that traders are making this relationship, right? It's not that you need us to be that central platform, but you can use us as that platform to form outside groups that can really help each other. And these traders were all pretty experienced, and they came up to me and they said, Akil, I have a question for you. I don't know how you're going to take this, but I want to get your honest opinion. I said, oh man, I got to be honest. Okay, I guess this time. But he said, I feel like trading is a journey of self-discovery, and that you really don't start to succeed in trading until you start to really become the trader. And I know for many of you guys listening that may not make sense. Hopefully I can clear that up in a little bit. But I was like, yeah, I agree 100%. And it's funny because a good trading buddy of mine named Lax, right? I don't know if he listens to the show or not. If he does, what up, Lax? Hope you're doing well. A long time ago, probably about, 2012-ish, 2012, 2013, he shared with me that very same quote. He said, I look at trading as a journey of self-discovery. And I never really thought of it that way until he mentioned it. And ever since then, I started to look back at my life and, it started to make sense where, what I was doing in my life started to affect my trading, but also my trading started to affect my life, meaning that, in life, I was looking at things from a different perspective, more from a risk management perspective. I start to judge everything from risk versus reward in any decision that I make. Okay, if I'm going to do this, what's the risk of doing that? What's the reward of doing that? What's the opportunity cost, right? I just started becoming more disciplined and more analytical in life. And in turn, I guess that happened in my trading as well. So I don't know what affected what, if they both kind of grew together. But I really started to be comfortable in my own skin as a person. And that started relating to me becoming much more comfortable in my own skin as a trader. And what happens here is that this experience of growing within yourself as a trader, this is what starts to form intuition. I know we talked about this, in a past episode, but intuition is kind of a fancier word for that gut feeling, right? Maybe put it this way. Intuition is the right word, right? Intuition comes from experience, where you may not necessarily know exactly why you're doing something, but you kind of got that feel that this is going to happen, right? Gut feeling, that's kind of the poor man's version of intuition. Gut feeling is kind of what rookie traders do. I got this gut feeling. Yeah. Oh, blue money. Darn it. So think about it like that. Gut feeling, the poor man's intuition, right? But intuition comes from experience, and your experience obviously comes from time in the market. Your experience comes from back testing. Your experience comes from forward testing. Basically, your experience comes from everything that you've learned. If we go back to kind of the analogy about the trading journey being a walk through the jungle, right? Maybe many times you've stepped in a trap, right? You step on the ground and boom, bear trap, right? Stepped in the ground again, bear trap, right? And you don't really know why, but you're walking again and you stop and you're like, wait. Let me see something real quick. And you throw something on the ground and boom, right? Right into the bear trap snags onto it, you walk around. And your partner says, well, how'd you do that, man? How'd you know it was going to be there? And you can't really explain it, right? You're like, oh, I don't know. I just had that feeling, and that feeling comes from experience and many somethings that you picked up on the way, and trading is the same way. Now, the dilemma in this is that one of the things that I always preach is rules-based trading. And this is why I think the traders were kind of shocked by me agreeing with them, because I'm always teaching rules-based trading, right? Testable, verifiable, repeatable. Testable, verifiable, repeatable. That's something that my trading mentor, Todd Brown, taught me all the time, right? When you do something in trading, it has to be testable. You have to be able to go back and test it. It has to be verified, meaning that you can test it, you can acquire numbers on it and see that it has a positive expectancy, see that it produces profit. And it has to be repeatable. It has to be something that consistently occurs in the market so that you can take advantage of it, right? And that's what rules-based trading is. And you would think that intuition is the opposite of rules-based trading, right? Rules-based trading is being very robotic and trading the market consistently, right? Each and every time. Was that a horrible robot sound? Probably. Each and every time. But an intuition is kind of more like I'm trying to think of the Mission Impossible, James Bond character, the newer James Bond, just kind of goes off and does his own thing. He's like, you know what, I'll just throw this grenade in here and I'll figure out the rest, while we're falling down from this exploding helicopter, right? It's kind of one of those type deals. But they're actually one and the same. Your intuition can be rules-based. And what happens as a trader is, I believe that, here's my philosophy on teaching, all right? I believe that everyone should start with a very strict game plan, right? Very strict rules for how to trade. I believe that a trader should really start on one time frame, one chart, maybe not one time frame, but one set of time frames, one pair, and only trade one strategy, right? 1-1-1, as simple as possible. If you can't be successful on 1-1-1, how are you going to be successful on 2-1-1 or 2-1-2 or 2-2-2, right? So start very, very simple with very strict rules, because when you're new, you don't have experience. So you need very strict rules to keep you under control, right? We can't have you venturing out there in that dark forest and getting lost. So you have very strict rules. You do only as told. But as you gain experience, you'll notice that those rules start to loosen up, and those rules start to loosen up because you're actually becoming better at what you're doing. You have more knowledge, you have more experience, you're making better decisions, therefore your rules can get looser. Now, the key word there is your rules can get looser, so you still have rules. And even when this intuition comes into play, I like to think of intuition as you're still taking actions that are rules-based, because this was something that some of the traders said. They're like, well, wait a minute, so you don't need to follow rules? I'm like, no, you do. But your rules can become looser. So your actions still fit in your set of rules. But what happens is that set of rules, imagine like a cage, that cage goes from very, very small and tight to a lot larger. You're still acting within those overall guidelines of what you're allowed and not allowed to do. But within those guidelines, you have so much more freedom. So your rules loosen up. And I've experienced this personally in my trading. And the cool thing about a trading plan, this is for better or for worse, but a trading plan is your business plan. And guess who is your business? You. So you make the rules, right? We were joking around the other day, saying that where a trader was asking something, and I was like, hey, what do your rules say? And you're, my rules say I can't do it, but what if I want to do it? Well, I'm like, well, technically, right? You could open up your trading plan right now, just delete a few words, put in a sentence that says I am allowed to do this, and then technically you're not breaking your rules, but that probably wouldn't be the best decision. But bigger picture, you can do that. Bigger picture. Hold on one second. Hey, buddy. I'm recording the podcast right now, so I'm gonna come out. I'll come out and play with you in a little bit. Okay. Okay. Can you go back into the living room? I like your gecko mobile.
It fits.
It fits? Nice. I'll come. We can play the helicopter with it later. Okay.
Huh?
We can play with the helicopter later. Okay.
Okay. I want you to be the helicopter. I be that.
Okay. I'll be the helicopter. All right. Gotta love doing these podcasts. I'm not even gonna edit that out. I'm gonna keep it in because that's how we get down here. But the fact is that your trading plan develops as you develop. So in the beginning where your trading plan is very full of strict rules, as you develop as a trader, you can allow yourself to really loosen those rules up. Where at first you're only allowed to enter a certain scenario in a very specific type of way. Well, maybe as you gain experience as a trader, now you have two ways to enter, an aggressive way and a conservative way. Well, maybe later, a year later, you have four ways to enter. You have a very, 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 very aggressive way to enter if this certain thing happens, but a very, 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 very conservative way if this certain thing doesn't happen. And that's where making those rules-based intuition comes into play. Because even though you have a gut feeling about something in the market, you have this feeling that something's going to happen, that feeling has to be based off of something. Right? We don't just look at a chart and be like, I feel it's going to happen. You feel it's going to happen because a certain candlestick has formed or a certain level of structure has been violated, right? So those feelings, those feelings can be rules based. You can create rules around that certain candlestick formation, that certain rejection, that certain indicator wiggle, whatever it may be. And you can add that to your trading plan, have looser rules, and just allow yourself more flexibility to really operate within those rules, right? I'm pretty sure I said this before, but I'll say it again, right? American football is a great example. Ben Roethlisberger, quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, when he came in as his second year, his coaches gave him only half the playbook, right? Imagine an NFL playbook being like it's massive and there's hundreds and hundreds of plays. The terminology is very confusing, and it typically takes a quarterback who has to know what everyone's doing. It takes them a while to understand. So as a rookie, his offensive coordinator, the one that makes the plays for him, he gave him kind of a dumbed down version. He said, hey, you're only allowed to look here. You're only allowed to throw here. You're only allowed to do this, right? And it was easier for him to interpret. He can kind of just go back and do what he needed to do because he only had to worry about a few things. We fast forward now, 15 years I think he's been in the league. He has complete control over that playbook, right? The coach gives maybe 3 or 4 plays, right? But he has the ability to audible and edit and change the play here and make it a run or make it a pass or do this. He has that flexibility. However, I'm pretty sure he has to stay within the overall scheme, the overall formation, the overall unit that is on the field. And trading is a very similar thing. So it's okay to develop intuition, but remember, intuition is rules-based. It just can't become the wild, wild west. And you as a trader, as you become more comfortable with yourself, you also have to become more honest with yourself and know when or when you cannot give yourself that amount of freedom. Because I'll tell you what, if you give yourself that amount of freedom too early, you're going to go right back to blowing money. And you're going to be right back where you started.